I'm keeping it all for me, myself and I, Megatron! Whoops. What's going on, everybody? Republic Cinema here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron. Man, look how far we've gone. I could have sworn it was not too long ago since the leaked listing of this figure and the Studio Series Galvatron. Would you guys like to know something? That news was a year ago. Because now, here the figure itself is in all of its G1 glory. Now, there's no denying the drama behind this figure not turning into a gun. Instead, he transforms into a tank. I was thinking of talking more about this whole debate, but since there was so much going back and forth, is it really worth bringing that discussion up again? Aside from the fact that this figure transforms into a tank and not a gun, how is this figure in his robot mode, you ask? Well, before we take a closer look at the figure itself, let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the front of the box, you get this artwork of G1 Megatron along with his tank. The rest is all just words, names, and logos. Same thing for the top. On the left side of the packaging is a closer shot of the artwork for 86 Megatron. And then on the left side of the packaging shows an extension of the artwork from the front. You turn to the back, and you get a little more info of what you get inside. On the top left of the back of the packaging shows what the actual character looked like in Transformers the movie. What is that? Yeah, I might need to throw this away. Back to the figure. To start off, the painting and sculpting is spot on. However, there are a few hints of just slight mechanical detail. Also, for some reason, the gray legs are a little more on the bluish side instead of, the grayish side. Not to say that I have any problem, it's just, it's an interesting choice of color. The head sculpt looks nice, and so does the Decepticon logo. Is it just me, or do I find the head sculpt to be just a little flat? Now, this figure does have some kibble bits exposed, along with his butt. The most notable pieces of kibble sticking out, I believe, would have to be these two tank tread pieces. For the QC, nothing's too tight or too loose on my copy, at least. It's worth mentioning that initially, when I opened this guy from his packaging, I thought his legs like to come apart a little too easily, but I soon figured out that all you have to do was just snap a few things in. Let me know down in the comments if you guys came across that too. Moving on to accessories, this figure does come with his fusion cannon. Here he is equipped. Oh, and you could store the weapon on his back too. The next accessory that he comes with is the Energon sword. I believe that's what it's called. You could store the sword on the back when you're done having Megatron use it. The next accessory he comes with is himself. It would have been cool if they found a way to include the stock, which is something Megatron does come with as a gun. They would also have to worry about what length the handle for this pistol would be. Anyways, here he is equipped with himself. Also, here's him with Starscream. For weapon storage, it appears they made a rectangular slot specifically for the gun mode. The next accessory he comes with is another barrel, which is for the tank mode, but if you want, you could put the barrel on Megatron's fusion cannon, and then for accessory storage, much like the sword, you could plug it right here. You could also have it like that. Also, if I remember correctly, I believe this is how he's supposed to look anyways. Moving on to articulation, ball joint at the head, full rotation at the arm. There is also a butterfly joint, bend at the shoulder, elbow swivel, bend at the elbow, wrist swivel. The wrist can move up and down. Articulated fingers, waist swivel, side skirts move out, and so do the legs. The leg can move forward and backwards. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee. The foot can move up and down, rock from side to side. I don't know if this counts, but the front of the foot can move up and down. And that's pretty much the gist of the articulation. Now moving on to size comparison. The Bioway knockoff of the Studio Series 07 Megatron. Here's the Revenge of the Fallen version. Dark of the Moon Megatron, specifically the Universal exclusive one. Universal exclusive. I got this one from Big Bad Toy Store. Studio Series Age of Extinction Galvatron. Studio Series The Last Night Megatron. Okay, not yet. Bumblebee Movie Concept Megatron. Studio Series War for Cybertron Megatron. Studio Series Transformers 1 Megatron. For some 86 and 86-ish figures Here he is next to Optimus. And then for some Decepticons, here he is next to Blitzwing, Starscream, Scrapper, Bone Crusher, Scourge, Sweep, Kingdom Cyclonus, Galvatron, and lastly, here he is next to every other Decepticon that's a little 86-ish that I do own. You'll notice that Blitzwing is from Legacy and Cyclonus is from Kingdom. I believe those two are getting Studio Series versions next year. Anyways, for the handful of 86 Decepticons that I have here, I'm missing a lot. I'm missing 4 of the Constructicons, all 3 of the new Seeker molds, because that's coming out next year, and we're still in 2025. I believe we're getting a Studio Series 86 themed multi-pack of the Insecticons. I could be wrong on that, but I do know we're getting an Astrotrain, Soundwave, Shockwave, previously mentioned the 3 Seekers, and currently I can't think off the top of my head what other Studio Series 86 Decepticon is coming out next year or the year after at the moment. But what I do know is that after Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, based on that new mold coming out next year, we are missing the 3 Conehead Seekers, because those 3 appeared in 86 as well. Aside from that, I don't know what else we're missing. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what else we're missing from the 86 movie in terms of Studio Series 86 Decepticons. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below which 86-ish Decepticon out of the figures that I have over here do you like the most. Okay, 50-something step transformation time. How I would start off is by straightening out all the limbs, bring both of these panels out, close in the hand, rotate this whole assembly, and then close all of this up. Also, be sure to rotate the arm inwards. Once you've done the same for the other arm, you can go ahead and open them up, untab this top chest from the rest of the body, and hopefully it should open up like this. Bring this piece down. Also, bring this panel out. After that, go ahead and bring this whole assembly out. And you might want to also bring that part out too. If you want, you can keep this intact just for now. Bring the head inwards, make sure that it's snapped in all the way. This slot will peg it onto that tab. Leave the arms up for now. Rotate this whole section, and then we're just going to leave this alone for now. Move these panels up, bring them back, bring the legs back to where this tab will peg it onto that slot like so. Make sure you do the same thing for the other leg. After that, rotate this whole section and then untab this, move this up just a bit, and then you could go ahead and bring this up, and somehow this part snaps in somewhere over here like so. What I like to do next is simply just fold in the arms 100%. While folding in the arms, make sure that these hinges are positioned like this and that both connect like so. And then we can work on the legs. To start off, untab this part right here, bring it all the way up, same thing for the other side, and then bring these out all the way to the side. Make sure these 2 panels are untabbed, and then bring all this out. And if that wasn't enough, bring this piece out, and then bring this piece out, and then close this piece in, and then do the same thing for the other side. Once you're done with that, make sure you close these panels in like so. And then after that, close in this whole side section onto the rest of the tank. Although, please note that there are a series of tabs and slots that should peg into each other, especially over here. Same thing for the other side. After that, go ahead and flatten this out. Same thing for the other side. What you're going to want to do next is shift this inwards, but make sure that this slot pegs it onto that tab right there. I'm just going to shift it right here. Make sure that it connects. The next thing you do is bring the feet down. Make sure that these slots pegging onto those tabs like so. And then after that, fold in the front of the feet. And here we have the tank without the cannon. That's because Megatron's fusion cannon is the tank mode's cannon. By plugging it onto the tank, however, you will need to bring this panel out and then fold it in up forward, which reveals a hollow gap. You're going to come back to the small barrel and plug it onto the bigger one. Slide the hollow gap onto this square-ish part. And lastly, close these in. And here you have Studio Series 86 Megatron in his tank mode. Now, first off, I want to talk about the transformation for just a bit. I will admit it is a little complex, but surprisingly for me at least, I memorized the transformation after the first time turning this guy into a tank. Anyways, back to the tank mode. Here I was thinking it would look similar to the tank mode from the Devastation video game, but it kind of doesn't. I saw a picture of what it looked like, and last I checked, I did not see this in the back. That's a bit of a reoccurring thing with the tank mode here, is that there's a lot of robot mode parts exposed. I mean, if you look at this tank up front, you can still see some robot mode parts exposed. But hey, at least he's got wheels. And the barrel can move left and right, but not up and down all the way. Yeah, I don't know about that. Since there's an up and down hinge joint on the smaller barrel, you could pretend Megatron's barrel is bent. You could play around with that. For weapon storage, you could store Megatron's gun mode on either slot around this tank that you like. Personally, I like to keep the gun mode up top next to the main cannon, as it is a reference to real-life MG turrets. And then, of course, the Energon sword can go over here. And if you're creative, but at the same time a psycho, you could also do this with the smaller cannon barrel. For a brief alt mode comparison, here he is next to the Studio Series Bumblebee movie concept art Megatron's alt mode. Here he is next to the Studio Series 86 Galvatron's alt mode, which is technically a tank. And then here they all are together. And yeah, enough said. Leave a comment down below which one you like the most. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I had to say for the Studio Series 86 Leader Class Megatron. Overall, this figure's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been nice if he came with that other gun that he used to basically kill Optimus with in the movie. But at least he comes with a little gun mode accessory. If you're looking to pick this figure up, unfortunately he's sold out on Amazon. I believe on other online sites he's either sold out or up for pre-order. This figure also has been reported in stores at, I think it was Walmart, so you actually might have a chance to look for this guy out in the wild. For those of you who have seen this figure in stores, be sure to let me know down in the comments, as I personally would like to know. But anyways, what did you guys think of this figure? Do you like it? Are you going to pick it up? Do you not like it? Are you not going to pick it up? Also, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends as well, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss another upload, let me know how I did in this Reviewdeo, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Teo!